The Dallas Cowboys have just shaken up the market with a move no one saw coming. Jake Ferguson, the tight end who just 2 seasons ago was a key piece of the offense, has been traded. And yes, his new destination is the Pittsburgh Steelers, a decision that is generating a lot of talk, not only because of the unexpectedness of the move, but because of what it reveals about the team's immediate future. After a disappointing season, marked by Dak Prescott's injury and a record of 7 wins and 10 losses, the Cowboys knew they couldn't sit idly by. Expectations for 2025 are enormous, and for good reason. Dak's return, the addition of George Pickens, and now this trade make it clear that Dallas doesn't just want to compete. They want to win. And that's where Darnell Washington comes in. A young, strong tight end with great potential, arriving from Pittsburgh as part of the Ferguson trade. Washington was closely watched by the Cowboys before the 2023 draft. In fact, he was at the Star during one of the evaluation visits. But a foot and knee injury caused him to fall in the draft to the 3rd round, and that's when the Steelers took advantage of the opportunity to select him. Curiously, he hasn't missed a single game since then. That says a lot. The move is strategic. With Washington, Dallas gained size, versatility, and depth at a position where doubts grew last year. Because yes, Ferguson was coming off a great 2023 campaign with over 760 yards and 5 touchdowns. But last year, everything changed. 0 touchdowns, fewer than 500 yards, and a season in which he practically disappeared from the offensive scheme. Many attribute this to Prescott's absence, but the truth is that his impact was very limited. The coaching staff, it seems, didn't want to take any risks. Washington, despite modest numbers last season, with 200 yards on 19 receptions, represents an opportunity to build for the future. Furthermore, the Cowboys have demonstrated a clinical eye for finding and developing young talent. And if we add that CeeDee Lamb remains the master of the passing game, that Pickens promises to become a constant threat, and that the questions at running back remain, everything points to Dallas opting for a much more pass-focused scheme this season. It's a strong bet. It's also a sign that this team isn't waiting for miracles. It's building, it's adjusting, and it's making it clear that no one's job is guaranteed if they don't perform. Ferguson had potential, but the numbers didn't match up. And Washington, despite past medical concerns, appears to have the physical and mental backing to make the leap Dallas needs on offense. Now, the big question is, what else is the Cowboys front office cooking? Because if this move already surprised everyone, there are rumors that another big play is yet to be revealed. There's talk of strengthening the running back position. There's talk of a name that could turn the entire NFL upside down if he ends up wearing the Lone Star uniform. And if that happens, believe me, what we saw today will only be the beginning. Something's happening with Micah Parsons. And if you're a Cowboys fan, brace yourself because the news isn't good. What seemed like a contract extension process is getting complicated, and it's all thanks to TJ Watt. Yes, the same TJ Watt of the Steelers. Because if there was a time when $30 million a year was enough, that time has passed. If the Cowboys had made the deal earlier, maybe $35 million a year would have been enough. But now we're talking $40 million a season, at least. And the worst part, this could keep going up. Micah warned. He said it clearly. Waiting wouldn't do any good, except make his contract more expensive. And today, those words ring truer than ever. Because what we just did doesn't just affect the Steelers. It directly affects us, the Cowboys. And it's not just Watt's fault. It's also the responsibility of Jerry Jones, Micah's agent, David Mulugheta, of everyone who's been messing around with this deal. We've been talking about a possible 5-year, $200 million extension for months. That already seemed like a lot. But with what's happening, it might be too little. Look at this. TJ Watt is entering the final year of his contract. And according to journalist Jerry Dulac, who spoke on The Rich Eisen Show, Watt wants to be the highest-paid non-quarterback in the entire NFL. You heard right. Today, the highest-paid non-thrower is Jamar Chase, at around $40 million a year. And Myles Garrett, Cleveland's defensive monster, is also in the mix. But Watt, at 31, wants to break that record. And if he gets it, what will Micah, who is barely 26 years old and is already one of the most dominant defenders in the entire league, ask for? Because it's not just about performance, it's about trends. The market is changing. And if Garrett did it, if Crosby did it in Las Vegas, if Hendrickson wants him in Cincinnati, and now what is putting the pressure on, then Micah won't settle for anything less. At first, Parsons said being the highest paid player wasn't his priority. But in the NFL, that changes quickly. Today, money moves like never before. And every time a star defensive end earns a record-breaking sum, Micah's floor rises and rises. So the Cowboys now face a delicate situation. They have to make a decision. If they wait any longer, the price will continue to rise. And if they decide to pay now, they'll have to open their wallets like never before in their history. And this is where the situation gets even more tense, because this isn't the only contractual issue the Cowboys have on the table. Another important extension is coming. Another figure who could also push for a multi-million-dollar contract. The Dallas Cowboys have done a pretty solid job building their roster for the 2025 season. They've bolstered the offense, made smart moves at key positions, and overall, the team looks ready to compete seriously. But there's one detail, one piece still missing, and it could make all the difference. The defense needs help, and there's a name on the table who could be just what they're looking for. We're talking about an available free agent, a player who could arrive for a fairly affordable contract, but who has the potential to fill the only real hole this defense has, the cornerback position. Because let's face it, on paper, the Dallas secondary has a lot of talent, but it also has many questions. Trayvon Diggs and Siobhan Revel Jr. are recovering from knee injuries. And while there's optimism, no one can guarantee they'll be back at 100% from day one. On top of that, we have to add the departure of Jordan Lewis, who left in free agency and left a significant hole in the scheme. Dallas has been using Darren Bland to cover the slot, and he's done it well, but moving him there opens up a new problem. Who's left on the outside? For now, the answer is Kyer Elam, a talented player, yes, but one who has been inconsistent since arriving in the league. And if Dallas wants to compete at the highest level, it can't afford to improvise on that side of the field. That's where Asante Samuel Jr. comes in, a pure cover cornerback, young, experienced, and free. He's 25 years old, a second-round pick, and has already started 47 NFL games. He's not the type of defender who impresses with his physique or his violent tackles, but in coverage, he delivers. And that's exactly what Dallas needs. Of course, there's a reason he's still available. He's coming off neck surgery. That raises questions, but it also opens a door. If he's cleared, his price could be well below market. And that's where the Cowboys could take advantage. Signing him now, on an affordable contract, would be a strategic move. It would mean adding a proven player who can fill the gap from day one without compromising the salary cap. And this wouldn't just give them security in case Diggs or Revel aren't 100% ready. It would also allow the coaching staff to work more comfortably on the rotation. Having Samuel Jr. on the perimeter with Bland and Diggs moving freely would elevate the entire secondary. Plus, he's not just any name. Asante Samuel Jr. has winning genetics, NFL blood, and has already proven he can perform. If Dallas really wants to go all out this year, these kinds of moves can make the difference between a good team and a championship team. So pay attention, because this could be the final piece of the defensive puzzle. And if the front office acts quickly, we could be talking about one of the best low-profile signings of the year. And now that we're talking defense, get ready, because in the next video, we're going to talk about the impact an unexpected return could have on this unit. I'll tell you in advance. If he comes back, the rest of the NFC has to get nervous.